and Sundry's Fiber Podcast. I'm Devyn.
I'm Lauren.
I can be found as Devyn_no_loose_ends.
And I'm Lauren Upstitching.
On Instagram. That's where we can be
That's
found.
where we can be found. I'm really not... I'm on some bit of Facebook, but only in the safe spaces.
Something fell and hit my foot, so I was having some problems.
Oh, God.
But anyway, we are a crochet, knitting, fiber-related podcast. We are here to talk to you about...
Less so today than usual. But...
Well, yeah, we don't have a lot of updates. It's been our normal record period, but we've both, like, you had events on the weekends. I'm buying a house, so I've been packing.
Oh my God.
I'm packing, and like I see people. I'm in this first time homebuyers group on Facebook, and I see people like, so when did you start packing? And I'm like, yesterday. I started packing. Like you should be packing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's true. I don't know when the right time to pack is. But for my peace of mind, my closing date is September 30th. So I will be moving in the first couple weeks of October. And I want to have everything ready so that move-in is ready to go as soon as I'm ready to move in. And that people don't have to wait on me to pack up my shit.
Yeah.
If I'm getting help, I don't want people to have to wait on me to put it in boxes. I'm like, I got boxes. They're lined up. They're ready to go. They're labeled. All you got to do is put the kitchen boxes in the kitchen, dining room boxes in the dining room, and everything will be smooth, right? I don't know. I don't know if that's the case.
You're just trying to make smoothness happen as smooth as possible.
I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for us because I know, like, we have stuff at Jason's house. We have stuff in my dad's house, stuff in my dad's garage. So it's going to be messy.
Right.
When we have to go and get in all these places. So I'm trying to make it...
Trying to mitigate as much as possible.
Yes.
Yeah,
control.
That makes sense. Hey, you're talking to a control freak queen. Like,
I'm trying. But I have labels. I bought these labels from Amazon and they're like amazing.
Yeah, you told me they're color coded, like
they're color coded. So the kitchen stickers are all yellow. And they're so there's stickers for every room, and then there's a fragile sticker, which every time I read it, I read Fragile. That's just how That's just how it goes in my mind. So
must be Italian.
Then I have white labels that I'm writing the like whatever's in the box on. So every box is getting, well, if it's got glass stuff, it gets 3 labels. If it's because it gets the room, the contents, and fragile. But not every box is fragile.
She's brilliant.
I just want it to be. I've moved so many times. I've moved a lot.
I told Sarah, you're the moving master. Like you got it down.
And my dad is the packing master. He is like, he can make a surprisingly good amount of stuff fit in a square space.
He Tetris as well.
He is a Tetris player. I mean, he is just like.
He's like, hang on, let me this trunk.
Oh, when we go camping, the back of his truck, we put, our tents, our coolers, our totes of crap, and he is the one who can master making it all fit. Yeah. I'm okay at it. Jason's terrible. Do not let Jason be in charge of anything that comes to stacking. He will make the stack that falls over and kills somebody. He is dangerous, but.
They say like spatial reasoning is like a guy's trait, like their brains just are really.
He doesn't have that at all, no.
And Sarah is good at it. Sarah is very good Tetriser, and I'm like not really. Like if you can give me organizational tools, I can get there. But like And so but your dad apparently has that.
My dad is so good at it.
Good,
but
awesome.
Jason is just no, just no. Like I kind of get it from Dad. Like I have made my car is tiny. And I can make some stuff happen in there. Yeah. Like I can just make it work. And I can usually look at, like, we got to go to yard sales and I bought something. Jason's like, that's not going to fit in the car. And I'm like, it's going to fit in the car. I'll make it happen.
We are very good at that. Like, we have bought furniture and Sarah also has a small hatchback. Mm-hmm. And we're like, that hatchback can fit anything. Yeah. And when it's like, when we've come across things and it's like, actually, the laws of physics say no, we're like, hang on. And we just modify the car until we make it fit. Yeah. We're like, we can just take the spare tire out. Look, that's an extra couple inches.
Yeah. So. Or like my thing, So I had a whole bicycle in the back of my car, which my car is tiny.
Oh yeah, it really.
And my thing was just crack the window and the bike hangs out by 4 inches. It fit.
4 inches. That's no big deal. That's not unsafe.
Yeah, it's no further than the mirror.
Yeah.
So as long as it's not further than the mirror, it's fine.
There you go.
But anyway, I've been packing. That's where I've been.
Yes, you have been very busy. I have been less busy, but more insane. We went, I talked about in the last episode, we went to the Pittsburgh Renaissance Festival, which was very neat. They had some stuff that the Maryland does not usually have. They have a really great tea vendor. I bought more fancy tea, which is just what I needed. We saw some really cool shows. Like they had a whole parade of like all their vendors and like things you could see. And like there were some things like I just couldn't get to physically. Like it was very hard to walk area for me. So there were some things like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to see that. And then they did this whole parade, and I'm like, there they are doing stuff. How cool! I got to see it. And I thought that was a really great way too. They had like even some of their vendors, so they kind of advertised what was going on, so you could find stuff and be like, oh, that's a thing I wanted to go see. Let me go.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was a smart way to do it. But that took a whole day out of our weekend. It was like an all-day event, and then I was busted. So I was parked up on the couch where I caught up on cross stitch. That's what I did. And so, but then we have both had a bit of tragedy this week. Do you want to talk about our tragedy first?
What are
our
tragedies?
I was making, I thought, really great progress. On the knitting and crochet tragedies. Not nobody died, animals aren't sick, nothing happened. I'm sorry if I misled you. I'm
like, wait, what life tragedy did I have?
No, actually, life has been going quite well.
Yeah, things are smooth.
Liking it. But I was making what I thought was really great progress on Nom de la Rose, which is the, now we're just going to call it a shawl that I'm making.
It's a shawl.
And
so I'm going to be the girl who gets married with 2 shawls.
I was working on it, and I got to this point, and I was like, that's weird. Like, there should be more stitches here. Why don't I have more stitches? That's awkward. And I look back, I'm like, oh, the last row, I've made this pretty big mistake. I was like, wait, how did I make that mistake? Oh, 4 rows back. I just started making shit up on this one section. I don't even know where it came from. I was doing stuff. I was like adding stitches, subtracting stitches, just like every time I got to this one point in this rows, I just lost my mind for 4 rows. I don't know how it just kept coming up that I just didn't catch it. And so this rose had like, I wish I brought it with me, but I ripped back 4 rows and have made back 4 rows. So that's what I spent my time doing, is just getting back to nothing. So I don't even have anything to show.
Negative progress.
But like,
neutral.
Neutral progress, but all this time wasted. So the rose was like beautiful and shapely on one side, like it made a nice circle of petals. And on the other side, it was just like half a circle and then, and I was literally sitting there considering like, do I just leave it? It's 1 rose out of 8. Like, would you even notice it? And I'm just looking at how just nothing it was. It's just a blob. Sometimes the blob was a disconnected blob. I don't even know what I was doing. And I was like, I can't leave it. So I just frog it. So.
Poor girl.
I was just like, what? I don't know what happened every day. Every time I worked on it, at that point that I got so distracted, I just started making shit up. But I did.
Well, I have a similar tragedy. This is our episode of tragedies, knitting and fiber tragedies. So, I've been working on the Marvelous Shawl, which
I do love this.
I am no further than last time. And I'll try to show you guys. I don't know if you'll be able to tell really well, but I can fix it. I literally said in our last episode as I was rewatching it, I didn't put in a lifeline. I have regrets about not putting in a lifeline.
I haven't noticed I needed one.
I needed one.
Play that Bee Gees song.
So, I made a tiny mistake, but it is, so, I don't know. I mean, I could go forward and just do an increase to make up the stitch I decreased. Basically, I decreased where I wasn't supposed to. And I could go forward with it. But I'm going to try to go back and fix it. But I am going to have to painstakingly pick out 4 rows. And I can't just rip back because in brioche with the decreases, I never rip back because I'm not good at catching the stuff when things go wrong when I rip back. But I mean, if it was straight columns of brioche, I can fix those. But with the decreases and increases, I can't do that. I'm not as good. So I'm going to scoot forward up here. Okay.
Lessons of brioche.
This is the shape that it's supposed to be. See how it has a column here and a column here? You're focusing on this area. I'm trying to put it in camera here. So see this little, like, whatever geometric shape that is. But how it has a column here and a column here. On this side, where my little stitch marker is, you can kind of see, and I'll flip this guy back, how I have a column here, and then this column that's supposed to go straight up disappears into this edge because I put a decrease right there. So I flagged it with my stitch marker, and I only have 4 rows to pick back. So that's not bad. And it's not even like, I mean, I'm still not at a high stitch count.
Yeah, it's luckily fine now.
So,
or made it now.
Yeah.
Later.
So I can pick it back and I can fix it and it won't be a problem. I could also move forward and just leave it there. But then I think what I would do is I would be making a column out of nothing. So it would be just a random column.
Yeah, you'd have a column end and then a new one start up.
Yeah. So if I just move forward, I could make an increase about here with probably a bark-yo bark. Because I'm short 2 stitches, 2 whole stitches. So I would do a bark-yo bark. And that should be a 2-stitch increase. I think that's a 2-stitch increase. And then that would fix it. But that would make it so I could go forward and just leave the mistake and just be like, whatever. But I'm going to try to fix it. So I'm going to try to painstakingly pick back and work out, undo that decrease and
I believe
try to move forward with it. But I found the mistake on Friday and I said, you know what? I'm not dealing with this.
This isn't a Friday fix. We don't deal with this on Fridays.
This is well, I've been packing and I've been just overall like dealing with house stressors, and I got something going on over here. I don't know what that is, but just dealing with stress and stuff. And so I was like, I really just want to relax tonight, and fixing this is not going to be relaxing.
No.
So I bagged it up and said I'll fix it later. And I will fix it. I do love this shawl. I want to finish it. Also, this is part of a knit along. A Place to Cal Your Own is the group that started this. It finishes on September 15th. I don't think I'm making it.
I don't think you're getting there. I just don't think it's in the cards.
I was never really trying to keep up with it. I mean, I knew when I got to the brioche that with how long the one section of brioche took me, that I wasn't going to make it. I think in the beginning I thought like, oh, I'll do it. I'll keep up. And then I'm like, nah, I'm not keeping up.
We don't, like, I'm trying right now to keep up with one stitch along in our floss tube episode. And while I love working on the project I'm working on, I'm not somebody that likes a deadline. Like, a deadline forces me to be productive. Like, if I'm like one of the things Sarah and I have learned is like, if you want something done in a timely manner, stick an actual, like a not negotiable deadline. Like, somebody's coming to do other things. Like, oh, it needs to be done so my uncle can do X, or it needs to be done so that a person you hired can do Y. Like, I put hard deadlines on stuff, and that makes me very productive. But it's maybe not my favorite thing in crafting.
Yeah. Well, in crafting, the reason I do it is for fun.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with my hair. I tried to fix it and I failed.
But like if I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do a gift for, like, I did a gift for a friend's wedding last year.
Yeah.
It makes you super productive. It makes you get it done. But
some of the doing is miserable.
Yeah, some of the doing is miserable.
Yeah.
Especially when you find mistakes and you're like, I was already on the deadline, you asshole.
And you found a mistake, or like you're just looking forward to either a certain part of the project or even the next project. Yeah. A lot of times I'm kind of like, there's always something better than what I'm working on. That's kind of my approach.
You do have grass is greener syndrome.
So I'm like, oh, but I want to make this one, and I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this. So the whole time I'm working on the one I'm working on, I'm looking for the next cool thing to do. And I get frustrated if I run into a mistake, and I'm like, well, this is just delaying my next project that I really wanted to do. Next awesome thing.
Yes.
Oh, geez. I am tangled. I've tangled everything up.
Well, let me really quickly, because this is going to take me 2 seconds,
Yeah.
show you my one other thing I've worked. I feel like I shouldn't even show this. It's so
You
cute,
should
though.
show this.
Merp.
It is adorable.
Merp. So this is a tiny Santa coat. I got the kind of basic shape of the coat. It's basically a circle with little holes for the arm with the sleeves. We got a little sleeve started. And it'll be trimmed. It'll be trimmed in baubles around the coat seam and everything. And
It's cute.
I forgot the name of the designer, so I'm going to look that up here in a second. This came as a set of small ornaments. It's Santa's coat, Santa's hat, 2 sweaters, and 2 more hats.
That's the armhole.
And it is very cute. It's a very well written pattern. It's very clear. It comes with, like I said, 6 ornaments.
This red is really blowing out.
It's really blowing out, but it's really red.
I mean, like, maybe back here is a little accurate to color.
More accurate, yeah. If you bring it up too close,
it's like, wow.
Yeah, it's like neon. I was looking for more of like a cranberry kind of red, but Sarah convinced me that no, Santa's coat is red. You should get red. This is for our wreath that we're doing for the Dove Center. Festival of Trees. And
which so far is not canceled.
So I knew our theme is Santa's laundry, so I knew we needed a Santa's coat, so I was super happy to find this. I'm going to be doing hat, coat, hat, sweater, hat, and then I think I'm trying to figure out how many we need. Like, I don't think we need tons because it's a wreath.
No.
And then we're going to be doing a clothesline in the middle that says, like, Merry Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
And it'll be really cute. So
I have one
project.
sweater
I was hoping
done.
to actually have, like, the other sleeve on it, but I didn't.
So I have one sweater done that I made for it, and then I was going to do the long johns.
Yes. So we need long johns, and then I'll have this and another sweater and a couple hats. And I want to do a couple cross stitch as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have plenty.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think anybody else is working on anything for it.
Is Mary doing anything for it?
Hell if I know.
we
need another stitching bitch to update everybody.
Well, and it's October, so we should start thinking about it because we have from October it's a month and then 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So a month and a half.
It's time to be thinking about it.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of got started. Let me look up the pattern designer really quick.
That's why I panicked and was doing stuff in July and August for Christmas, because I was thinking, like, holy crap, that's gonna come up right when I'm closing on the house, and I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do stuff. So
the pattern is called Noelle Sweater and Hat Set.
Are you gonna do the little white poof palm?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do the white poof palms, definitely. And this is by Adorish Originals. Stacy Tallman.
It is so cute.
Really quick. Let's see this.
Look at those little white poof palms all around
Super
it.
Cute. So I definitely want to do a striped sweater as well. The striped sweater and hat set.
That'll be cute.
I don't particularly like the granny square sweater as much.
Yeah,
that is. But that's just different people's taste.
Yeah.
But I love the striped sweater. So.
That's
I do
cute.
like the granny square hat though, because it looks like a little tomahawk.
It is cute.
So those are going to be coming. The one thing is I'm working with Red Heart Super Saver because it's a small project. Like, I didn't want to buy a whole bunch of nice yarn for it.
Yeah.
And it is so freaking hard on my hands.
It is so stiff.
Like, after working with nice other like super easy. It
like
is stiff. It
just
sticks to itself. You gotta like
scared of her elbow.
get your hook in the crevice, you bastard. Like, every step I'm like, my arm tired.
Yeah, Red Heart is not forgiving. And then like one thing I hate about Red Heart is like when you move it around, you can hear it like creak.
You can hear it creak.
It like creaks.
Yes, and this is also it's basically stitched like amigurumi, whatever it's called.
I don't know how to say it.
So it's tight. It's tight. Oh, tight. So you definitely hear the plastic crackling. So anyway. All right. So that was my little update.
All right. So then I have one more knitting update, and then that's it. And this is now awkward as heck to show. So take that end. So this is the Doodler Shawl by Stephen West. I've been working on this for a while. I finished this whole section with all of these little like
spider webbies.
Yeah, the little sunray spider webby thingy segments. And yeah, they were called wedges. I was trying to think of that word. I'm like, segments, is it right?
The star is your marker, right? So
so I did move that up for this one. So I had to finish this and do this one. And I'll tell you guys, I made a mistake here. And I am not fixing it. I am just trucking forward. I don't think you'll see it. My last row of this wedge, every hole is 1 stitch off.
Oh God, no, you're not gonna see that.
Every single, and it's the one that's on the needle, so you really can't see it. But I went ahead and I started the next portion of the shawl, which is really awkward to hold up and try to show you. So you pick up, whenever you finish the last segment, you do have like 18 purple stitches on the needle. Because the whole time I'm working this, I carried these, you pretty well knit these up without adding too much to the purple. And so then you start picking up, and I'm knitting like this way across it now. So this is all knit this way, this section.
Oh.
And now I'm knitting like up and down.
Oh,
so
weird.
It's like this way. That's why it's hard to show.
So this is going to be another kind of wider wedge that picks up that edge.
It's going to pick up the edge, but it's kind of like it would be in crochet like an applied border.
Oh, okay.
So it's the edge work. So trying to show.
That is hard to show.
It is hard to show. So this is the beginning of the shawl. This is all I-cord edge, and when you do this, you do start with a few purple stitches. In every row of this section, you are adding just 1 or 2 purple stitches. I think 1, and I think you have like 18 or 19 or something on the needle. And then when you get to this last white wedge, you start picking up these stitches and knitting them together. So now I'm attaching this purple to this white, and it will sort of knit. I'm knitting this way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So before I was knitting like sideways here. Now I'm knitting this way.
Now you're knitting vertically, I guess is that technically what it would look like.
That was really hard to explain. And this thing is one massive cable. So I did one cable twist right here.
Oh, and what that is?
Yes, that's why it's got the lumpiness. And the way the cable lays when it's relaxed is going to cover those top holes. So every hole that's off is probably, because you can kind of, if I can hold it upright, and you can kind of see how it's got that like curvy little bit of sag there. It's not going to cover these holes, which these are fine. I actually did kind of like fudge a fix in here so that this hole lined up right. I couldn't even explain it. I was like, oh, it looks like if I move this one stitch over, it will look right. And then I'll just keep going forward and see what happens. And so far it hasn't been a problem.
That's a fix in my book.
It was my fix. So I try to see how it's got that poof though. That poof is kind of laying over top of this top row. So I think that's going to cover up those holes. So I don't think you're going to see that that's off by 1. And I would have had to undo this entire wedge to fix it.
No, thank
because
you.
I made the mistake all the way in the purple. Because these are at the start of your wedges.
No, thank you. No.
And that is really complicated to explain. You will understand once you start making this. You'll be like, oh, everything she said, it kind of made sense. But...
No.
Yeah.
No, not going back that far, that's for sure.
Yeah. So...
it's coming along really
It's coming along really well. And I was going to check the pattern to see... So,
don't ask me. I don't know why I do fingers when I'm happy.
I got my pattern. I am on the cable 1 of, I think there's several section 2. I see at least 5 on this page.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've done 1 repeat of the cable. And I need to start cable 2 next. So... let me see how many cables there are. There are 10 cables, and I've done 1 so far. And the cables...
This is the chunky section.
Yeah, the cables are really cool because you change how many stitches they're worked over based on how many you've picked up. So it starts off, my cable's 19 stitches wide, but then as I go down, it'll get a little wider and a little wider.
Oh, that's cool.
So it'll get...
That's going to be so cool.
It's going to be an interesting shawl. It's got a very unique construction. That is something that I think you learn a lot from Stephen West is like, you don't just have to knit like up and down or triangular. Like, here I can pick this up in a weird way, and now you've got like this whole new shape.
Inventive and innovative. Like,
so,
very cool.
Because this shawl, I mean, it's going to be sort of... it's sort of like a crescent shaped at the end, but because of the way you pick up, it's not exactly. And it's really cool how you can get this stitch. Like, you couldn't get this if you just knit a crescent shawl. You would have to do like how he's designed the shawl to get this. That doesn't even make sense that I said it that way. But like, I'm trying to say, like, in shawls, I've knit a lot of shawls. So there's like some very basic types of shawls. You've got your triangular shawls, you've got crescent, you've got like, I think there's half moon crescent, and then there's shapes that I don't even know. But working off of the ones that I do know, like the way he's accomplishing this is so unique with all the picking up and adding of the extra edges and stuff. It's very cool. Very, very cool. Yes. That's what I'll say.
He is very cool.
I don't know. But so, that is what I've been working on. I have probably worked on that shawl the most and a lot because I love it and it is easier to work on. Then I was very excited when I got to the cable section. I'm like, yes! I am using, because my cable is taking place over like 19 stitches or something, so it's 8 and 8. So when you do a cable, you have 8 and 8. Anyway, knitters will know. I know you won't know, but I don't know knitters will know.
I know nothing. So
I am currently doing it with a double point needle, because like my cable needle's this long, and normally, I mean, the most stitches I've ever done in a cable is like 6, and because this one is so many stitches, I needed something longer than a typical cable needle, so I'm actually using a double pointed needle as my cable needle because it's very, very big.
Makes sense.
Yeah. He recommends that in the pattern. I'm actually going to work on switching out my cable needle to doing, or my double point to doing it on just a pair of like hat circular needles, because they'll work the same as a double point. And my double points are really crappy. I don't have a good set of double points, so mine fall out of stitches a lot.
Ooh.
Because I have like the really cheap aluminum ones from Walmart, and they just like, I'll put them in and just boom, right through the knit.
That is something that is like so kind of sad, is that like the most accessible products to get started with knitting are also the ones that will make you think you're terrible at fucking knitting.
Yeah.
Like you are garbage at it because you don't have good tools.
Yeah, The aluminum ones from Walmart, everything is really slippery on, and then the wooden ones, everything's really sticky on. But if you use wool on the wood, it's okay. But if you use cotton on the wood, you will hate your life.
But if you use acrylic on the wood, you hate your life.
Yeah, sort of. Acrylic is okay on the wood. It's not as good as the. I think acrylic's better on the aluminum, but
maybe that's why, because like they're expecting you to start with cheap
it
aluminum.
just depends on how much grip your yarn has. But for whatever reason, I don't know, wood and wool go together.
Interesting.
But cotton and wool, it is like friction. It is like.
They hate each other as natural fibers.
That is my descriptions of the tools of knitting.
There you
and
go.
that is what you guys should learn from that.
That's what we've learned a lot from this episode. Mostly because for a very short episode, it's very very knowledgeable.
Yeah, we talked all about our mistakes, and we're here to share not just our beautiful finishes, guys. We're here to talk to you about like how sometimes you just want to take a project and throw it across the room.
True story.
The mistake pissed you off. I'm sure the brioche fix is not going to be a happy moment for me. I'm sure I'm going to be like, why did I do this?
She-Hulk comes out.
There will be moments, but I will share those in the next episode, guys.
Yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks for fun stuff. Mm-hmm. And then life's going to get really chaotic. So
so after we'll have one more episode before I close on my house. And then after closing on the house, I'm not sure how much will be impacted.
Yeah.
Depending on things. Life and stuff and things.
But we'll be here.
Yes.
So, anything else?
That's everything I've got.
All right, well then.
Bye guys.